Good morning. It's time to go for a walk with Rock in the park and talk. Hope everyone's doing great. It's a beautiful morning. We're a little bit past sunrise. And it's a beautiful day here. Hope it is wherever you guys are. But we're going to go see some nature and start our day out by harmonizing some ourselves with planet Earth and the beauty surrounding us. So one of the things I thought we could talk about today was the difference between, not really the difference between, but the origination of the Tao, who is responsible for that type of visceral essence of the original discussions of it, and yoga, tai chi, and qigong, which came first. And they're all largely related, and how they differentiate as well. They're all wonderful modalities and ways of thinking, philosophy, practices, belief systems that I think it's wonderful for all of us to know about them. Yeah. Rocky is right here with me. He's an older doggy. He is a Papillon, and I think he is loving these walks in the morning. Say hi, Rocky. Hi, Rocky. Yeah, he loves to be with the nature. Check it all out. So our goal with these morning walks is to inspire and get everyone involved of all ages, whether you're in a wheelchair, a walker, or whether you're a vibrant athlete, young, old, fat, skinny, black, white. It doesn't matter. We're all here together, and it's nice to share the morning and harmonize with the planet together. So I welcome your comments down below and your thoughts and your interests and what you guys want to talk about. But as we get started in this practice and this launch, everyone is more than invited and welcome to join and help develop and build our walk together. I know down here in Florida, a lot of people don't really go outside that much. Some of them do near the beach, but as you get even a mile inland, people seemingly don't go out as frequently as what I've seen in other parts of the country. It's just my observation, not any clinical science. But it's nice to get out wherever you are, because wherever you are, you do want to try to harmonize with the nature. It's really important for quality of your day. Yesterday we saw a nice family of ducks, all different types of species, or multiple types of species. Okay, so the Tao was originated or um, was given credit to the origination to Lao Tzu, and he was from the Henan province, which was in China, in central China. And does anyone know which came first, Tai Chi or Qigong? You guys probably may all know, but the Qigong originated many thousands of years ago, and it was more simplistic exercises designed to harmonize with nature, which is somewhat what we're attempting to do here, just being present. And there were originally very simple, singular type exercises that were Qigong exercises. Many of those exercises were simple to do. Many different types and ages and well-beings of patients could effectively participate and do these different types of Qigong exercises. The doctors, thousands of years ago, still today, would prescribe specific exercises to their patients to help benefit their health. Harmonize an organ system. Morning. Nice to see some people out. And there were actually foundational exercises for each of the 5 visceral organs, the primary 5. The liver, the heart, the spleen, the lung, and the kidney. Those were Qigong exercises. Many people still today find helpful. And that's over 3,000 years old. Although the Tao is much older, many argue that over over 800 BC, and even older, there was practices from the Tao. So interestingly, the oldest skull in the world was originally found, I want to say, somewhere in Iran, the old Babylonia, that vicinity. Up until more recently, they found an equally as old skull in China. I believe it was in the Yangtze River. Let's say the Yellow River or the Yangtze, but I think it was the Yangtze River. And portraying evidence that, at least based on the findings, that humanity or human beings existed reportedly as old in China as they did in what we call today Iran area, I believe, or the old Babylonia. You can check me on this stuff, guys, but I think I'm basically within realm. Anyway, old reports of human existence. So what does it have to do with health and wellness? It has a lot to do with it because they've been around a lot longer than the Western world, so they have more years to figure out best practices, innovations, time to think. So I think it's extremely relevant to health and wellness. The history of the human being, where they lived, what they ate, how they practiced their daily life. We're slowly catching on and understanding that the microsystem is just as important as the macro system. Matter of fact, they're essentially mirrors of each other. Reflections, anyway. Same type of thing. Yeah, so then Tai Chi was designed not much more than several hundred years ago. And so that's much newer than the Qigong, which is the foundational. And yoga is even much older than that, I believe. Over 5,000 years of recordings. And don't know as much about the yoga, but I think it's more related to the Hindus and their wisdom on life. So that is all good. So Qigong is a great practice. Now, back to the Tai Chi. The Tai Chi was invented or created or developed more for fighting by the Chinese military and other strategic leaders based on balance, the yin and the yang, and how to win lots of things by having balance. Including non-physical engagements. It's really ingenious. So Lao was the guy that was given the credit for the Taoism from the Henan province, again in central China, back thousands of years ago. And he's written many books, or many books are of his wise words, so definitely worthwhile getting those. But he was the one that talked a lot about primordial existence and the natures. So anyway, medical Qigong is another discussion, and that was often provided training to doctors, and that was about a form of Qigong with meditation, not unlike yoga, but different, and specifically borrowing energy from the universe, storing it in our dantian to provide healing for people to improve a condition if they were off balance or if they were ill. One and the same. So that's how that came to be. Oh, hey, Rocky. Yeah, attaboy. Attaboy. Yes. Rocky likes to walk, and then he's actually a big talker, too. Most of the time, he's quite at peace out here, so not too much talking. Just being. Dragonflies. A lot of birds. I think it's one great thing about golf is it gives you a lot of time in the nature. And for that alone, I think it's quite good, really. So now when you're in Singapore, some of the parks or different areas of Japan or China, you see people lining up with some of the strongest trees with the biggest roots. And it is there where they practice their morning qigong and tai chi. Sometimes even if you don't use the tai chi to fight, it's a wonderful best practice to keep your soul in balance, to keep us in harmony. Interestingly, when we were doing it daily back in our training, I don't think anybody got sick that semester. So powerful, really. So that was pretty good. So it definitely is effective. Both the Qigong and the Tai Chi, creating balance and focus. But if we're elderly and we can't do as much, the Qigong is less complicated and we can prescribe very specific exercises that most people can do. And then you just repeat that same exercise to create balance in your body. So, yoga, we were taught, according to traditional Chinese medical theory, is better for the spleen. Tai Chi Qigong is better for the liver. They're both good for both, but I'm talking more so. So, the spleen dominates the health of the muscles, whereas the liver dominates the health of the tendons. So, women tend to have stronger lower bodies by nature, and men tend to have stronger upper bodies by nature. So, you can take that into consideration as you choose your exercise of choice. And one of the things that's important as we age, so whether we're hanging with you guys that are in your teens and 20s, you're out with your moms or dads walking with us, or on your own doing your own stuff. As we age, especially females, after I think it's 30 or 35, we do start to lose muscle mass. And it certainly becomes notable for many women in the Western world, say after the age of 50 or around 50. So walking by itself is a brilliant exercise. Simple, has such healing. However, we want to make sure our upper thigh muscles stay very strong so that we can keep getting out of cars and chairs, and walking by itself doesn't do that. So 10 squats 2-3 times a day is good for that. What foods to eat for that? Well, take a look at our YouTube channel. But there are a couple of them that can help. And I believe peanut butter, so long as you don't have an allergy, is a good choice. High quality peanut butter, of course. So nice to get out and walk. Here comes a crew of Rocky's friends, or Rocky's same. Let's just say there's a group of dogs coming. How's that? One thing that amazes me is these type of trees, these abrevieties. They live anywhere in the world. Hot, cold. I see them everywhere. Not sure if I'm saying it right, but that is a tree that is everywhere, all over the world. Seems to be happy where it is. Good morning. You too. It's like a pretty nice day today. Every day is a nice day. Some clouds up there, though. But not right now. It's perfect weather in the 70s. A little bit of a breeze. Really quiet out here other than the birds. The birds and all that. So today we are taking a walk in the park with Rock while we talk. Yesterday we didn't talk, we just took the walk, and that was lovely too. We saw a lot of nature. So we're going to be exploring different areas on these sunrise walks. And wherever you are, whenever your sunrise is, it's great to join in and do it yourself, as long as you're safe. It's good to spend this very start of the day with the nature, no matter what is going on. Whether you're a caretaker, whether you are not feeling well, whether you feel amazing and you're an elite athlete. Take time alone and time to think every single day. Think for yourself. And listen to your heart when you're making decisions. If you picture yourself making a decision, you're not quite sure which way to go, pretend, great exercise. Pretend you've already done it. Say, whether it's getting a divorce, entering into a business contract, whether it's having another child or relocating, going forward with a certain treatment plan or not. Take time alone in nature to think, and then envision yourself with each side of the decision or the equation. Pretend you've already made the decision. Swallow the deal, as Deepak Chopra says. Do you have indigestion, or does it go right down? If you have indigestion and feel uncomfortable when you envision yourself moving forward in a certain direction, don't do it. Run, don't walk in the opposite direction. Or certainly axe that deal and don't move ahead. On the other hand, if you have good ability to feel good about it, and there is no indigestion, and you envision yourself making that choice, that's a winner. And then you want to move forward in that direction. So the heart knows, or many of us in the Western world refer to it as our gut instinct, which in traditional Chinese medical theory, it's clear that digestion and the heart are closely related because the pericardium channel treats both. And the channel is very interconnected. So be it your gut, be it your heart, it is a wise organ, the heart, the gut, and listen to it. Listen to it quietly. Think for yourself. Spend the time in nature, and your insight will be at its optimal. Me, folks. A lot of people waking up now. Anybody here a gardener? Do you guys have a pet? Does your pet like going for walks? You know, I wrote a book multiple years back for a famous philanthropist, and he had, I believe it was his daughter, that had a cat, a walking cat. Uh, she trained him out in California to walk on a leash. Interesting. Haven't seen too many of those this morning, but we do have our fair share of canines. So Rocky does enjoy these morning walks, whether we're quiet and just hanging out, listening to the birds, observing the nature, or whether we're sniffing all these amazing scents, right, Rocky? Where he can check out what the world is doing through his little sniffer. We can learn a lot from Rock and our little canine friends or our cats. And I think to engage with all of our many senses is always a good choice. Smelling, listening, observing with our eyes. In some cases, touching, although use discretion. And in some cases, tasting. And again, want to be a little careful with that. Anyone know what a Bufo toad is? I think they originated in some part of South America. Is that right, Brock? But I can tell you this, they're pretty giant toads, and they're nocturnal by nature. So most of them live and hang out around water, not so much the ocean, but more still water, and like a pond, perhaps a lake. My first experiences with the Bufo toad was at night, taking my little pup for a little walk, and guess who we met upon our indigenous trail? A Bufo toad. Well, some of the local teenagers educated me that the Bufo toad can be very toxic. It has hallucinogenic qualities. So, back in the 60s, some people would do LSD to experience some type of a new experience, transformative experience. Some found it useful, some found it frightening, some found it both. Fast forward 30 years, 35 years, a lot of people doing ayahuasca, which is, again, innate to South America. And if used wisely with an experienced shaman, many people report back very helpful, very useful in transformative healing. Well, here we are, 2024, and many people explain that the Bufo toad, these teenagers who may have low budgets or maybe not, can gain benefit from licking the Bufo toad because it's a hallucinogenic. Good morning. Yeah, how about that? So, never tried this experience, not recommending it, but just sharing. Now, if you're just a regular person taking the dog out for a walk. Oh, little bunny, good morning, little bunny. Okay, we missed you, but we know you're there, and we love you. Rocky loves you. Hey, Rocky. And the Bufo toad can, if it feels afraid, will expel some of its toxins and can kill a small dog. So if the dog uses a sniffer, which is what they can do, and the Bufo toad expels the toxins, or like sort of like a spray, like expelling, you must take the dog and take him to the vet. But prior to such, you can spray a sprayer of water across through the mouth area, not down the throat, but through the mouth area. And that can help clean out the toxin if you do it like with cold water or across the mouth from the right side to the left side, not opening the mouth and down the mouth, because then it will help the dog to swallow, and then the dog can get really sick. And we don't want that. So anyway, just a heads up, I think it's mostly in the southeast part of the United States and South America areas that these Bufo toads are found. So anyway, another funny story is my mom was widowed about 15 years ago, and she, very independent, very capable, very fit and healthy and vital up until more recently. But she got up in the middle of the night, as most of us do, to go to the bathroom. And lo and behold, what did she find in her little cupboard? Was a Bufo toad. So that was sort of unexpected. Somehow it got through the drainage system. So why is it important to harmonize with nature? Well, it just makes sense, don't you think? It just makes sense. We coincide. Silly to ignore the framework. We're all here together. Better to understand what every creature has of value and what it has to offer. Like our walk in the park with Rock. It's really very nice. And this is a tree he's gonna go explore. A lot of the pups come over here. A lot of the pups come over here. So we'll see if we can get him to come join us for a little bit. Yeah, come here. Hope you guys find it therapeutic to take a walk and talk with Rock in the park. Hey, Rocky. Oh, there's a cute one with a little lizard right next to him. You guys see the little lizard? Oh, that's funny. Oh, dear. Yeah. Rocky. He smells all kinds of goodies. He's engaging all his senses. Gotta take note from Rock. Smelling and seeing and touching and exploring using all of his senses. Hey, Rocky. Thanks for joining us today. A walk in the park with Rock while we talk. So much fun. So much fun, right, Rock? You can hear the gators at night out here. They sort of have a grunting sound. I'm not an expert at these kind of things, but having gone back and forth now for over 15 years, the locals share some great insight wherever we travel to. Certainly when we reside somewhere, we learn a lot. So, they pretty much mind themselves, but it certainly is very different nature than New England, Alaska. I guess it's really considered very subtropical in Florida, all the way from the Keys and Miami, all the way up to a little town called, well, it's not a little town anymore, called Port St. Lucie. And that weather is more similar to Southeast Asia. And that's nice to know, because if you do move here or live here and you're a gardener, which I am not, we have the potential to resoil and grow a lot of the indigenous foods to the spice trade in Southeast Asia, where some of the richest nutrients, foods, and spices come from, which was our original medical background. Rocky. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it. We had a walk in the park with Rock while we talked. We covered a lot of great detail today about the Tao, some of the time frames of history of yoga origination, Tai Chi origination, Qigong, and medical Qigong. Lao Tzu, the province of Henan, China, central China, where many report the Tao to have originated. We saw some other four-legged critters that were delightful, and butterflies. There's one now. See him? Beautiful. Oh, yeah. And dragonflies. We listened to many different birds. We looked at a lot of greenery. So healing. Such a profound, exquisite, wonderful day to start our day. Resetting our own personal algorithms in a lot of ways. It was said in the ancients that the doctor that understands the liver understands a million diseases or 1,000 diseases. It's true. Liver has a lot to do with long life. Many say that's where we store our soul lives while we're in the human existence. The ethereal soul lives in the liver, known as the Hun, or the ethereal soul, lives in the liver. It's the one soul that does not supposedly die when our body dies. Interesting. But green is the color of the liver. It's the color. Liver is considered a wood organ, so even though wood we think of as brown, the color of the liver in ancient medical literature is green. So when we look at green, it can have the healing impact on the liver. And that's why we're doing these walks, because we all need liver healing. Liver healing helps us keep the smooth flow of our life force in our entire body. It's got a pretty big role. So I'm thrilled that you guys are joining us on our walk in the park with Rock. Some days we talk, some days we just walk. It's all about where life becomes better living. And this is Dr. Liz, Doctor of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. And make it a great day. Find your way and go out there and play for at least part of the day. Thanks again for joining. Please like and subscribe if you find this healing. And Jusqu'à demain.